Hello YouTube, this is Neji back with another video. Today we are going to be doing a back focused workout with bench since it's a powerlifting program. And we are not going to be doing deadlifts today because I had an injury a while ago with my one of my tendon. I think it's the entheses where it's like the attachment point. I think it was during deadlifts where I overshot. So we're going to be doing exercises that I guess carry over or like use muscles that the deadlift uses, but with less fatigue and strain on that specific tendon. I think it's RDLs that we're going to be doing. And then, yeah, I'm just going to be talking over the footage. For these next couple of months, I am cutting. So the focus on these workouts is to develop intramuscular strength. So those who don't know, it's basically using more fibers, like specifically for movements and getting stronger at them. While hypertrophy is more like relying on the cross-sectional area of the muscle to increase the tension, or like the cross bridging to create stronger tensions to pull more force. So yeah, that's the goal. Intramuscular coordination for movements, and I'm part of my university's Dragon Boat Club, so I am trying to do some movements in my powerlifting program that do somewhat translate over to Dragon Boat. It is my first year. I'm a complete newbie when it comes to Dragon Boat, so yeah, it's gonna be relatively the same format as the last video, where I talk over my training footage, give my thoughts and the things I think about when I'm doing these movements. So yeah, I hope you guys can take away from what's being said in the video, and I also hope you guys enjoy it. See you guys at the gym.
All right, and we're back. Yeah, I just watched back that intro and I sound so dead. I apologize, guys. Being on the cut, I shouldn't be an excuse, but yeah, no, like my energy is slowly tanking. 2 weeks into the cut. Yeah, we're starting off with bench. It's a lighter day today. We're just doing 4 sets of 5, and yeah, this should be moving RPE 6. So bar path shouldn't be crazy. Head should be against the bench for the most part. I'm working on it, and it's getting better, but I still do it, time to time. And I see a lot of benchers plant their entire foot and benching properly, but like I don't know why I can't do it. I can't maintain my arch when I plant my feet fully. So I'm just testing it out with just leaving my toes as first contact, and it's kind of working, kind of not. I think I tend to like hip thrust the weight up near the end, but it's against powerlifting rules where like your glutes have to be against the bench, if yeah, even during lockout as well. So I gotta fix that somehow. Hopefully watch videos on it. We'll see. But let me know, guys, how you guys bench. Like if there's any technique cues, anything I can implement to get my bench up. But I hope you guys like this new POV I have for benching. You guys get to see more components of the bench, my head, my back, where my glutes are, and how my feet are, and most importantly, the bar path. So hopefully we'll try finding different POVs, but I think I'd keep that POV for bench. Next, we are moving on to RDLs. So these are the replacement movement for my deadlift. It is a powerlifting program, but it places way too much tension on my injury, like my entheses region. So yeah, I was supposed to do deadlifts and pause deadlifts, but yeah, it's too fatiguing right for now, especially when I'm cutting. And too, like I would have to, I don't know, I think I'm too lazy to work back up in weight, which is why I'm starting off with RDLs with very moderate, it's not very light load, but keeping technique pretty strict, trying to avoid the backgrounding and trying to load the hamstrings and glutes, like the posterior muscles that are used for traditional deadlifts. I am a conventional puller, so I do see good take like translational strength from RDLs to deadlifts, but they're good. I think they're great for most sports, and especially like for like dragon boat since there's a lot of hip hinge involved. So that's also another reason why I introduced RDLs. So finishing up with RDLs, we're moving on to weighted pull-ups. Weighted pull-ups are it's my primary back movement for especially my lats, and it's also a skill, not an exercise that we get tested on for the fitness test for Dragon Boat. So we're trying to implement that. We're restarting with 10 pounds. My working weight used to be, I think it was 55 or 50 for 6 reps or 7 reps. But we're restarting with 10 because I don't want to place too much tension on my injured region. And so far, like, thankfully, it's not acting up during the movement, which is good. But slow increments is what's gonna take me farther instead of just going into my working weight that I used like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I don't even think I can move it for 4 reps or 5 reps. So keeping it lighter and keeping form a little more strict. I count my reps if my chin goes above the bar. So yeah, let me know how you guys count your reps for pull-ups. I try to dead hang. I think I tend to not kip, but I tend to like use the reflex near the end of the movement and pull myself up. It's a habit that I'm trying to avoid because the way we get tested is by doing our reps and then dead hang and then pull up again and doing another pull up again. So training in that manner would be a lot more beneficial to me. So yeah, throughout my next few weeks, pull-ups, one, are going to be easier since I'm cutting, and two, getting used to the movement, with the dead hangs will hopefully make me economically better. I don't know what I'm saying at this point, guys. Yeah, and then at the end of the day, pull-ups are good. Would definitely recommend people try it. When I started to like train, I was like a super fat kid, so I couldn't do pull-ups at all. Really unlocking the ability to do pull-ups can really help you train your back in a way that you never knew you could. It's a great skill to have, and yeah. Next, we are going into lateral raises. These next sets are going to be like sped up because I'm not gonna try to make you guys watch 8 sets of me doing lateral raises for like 15 reps. But I try to keep technique strict, and you guys might be asking me how I keep them strict. For me, for lateral raises, most importantly, I try not to use my traps, since in the past I used my traps a lot for lateral raises by looking down. So trying to look upright, it's hard, especially near failure, but I try to look upright and I have a slight arm bend where I can really engage that lateral delt and perform my exercises. And I realize that there's a lot more growth that can happen on my delts. I don't really do overhead press or other movements for my shoulder since it causes pain. I think it was injuries that I got from wrestling, probably supraspinatus injury from repetitive overhead movements, or just specific injuries to the supraspinatus, which is why I've relied on lateral raises for these past 2 to 3 years of training. I think they've done decent amount of they've been a decent stimulus over the years, but I may have to reintroduce other movements for my delts. And yeah, they aren't very fatiguing at all, so I can hit them 2 or 3 times a week. Maybe not to this extent where I can do 4 sets every single session, but I'm able to do it right now since I'm not deadlifting today or during this training session and I'm doing RDLs. Let me know what variant of the lateral raise you guys like. There's a lot of variants out there, like the one Jeff Nipper does. There's the one TNF does. I used to do the TNF version of the lateral raise, but I switched to the default one now. Don't know why, but keeping the form very strict. I really feel tension. I go by tension or like the pump on my lateral delt, and I haven't felt that in a while. So I don't know. I think I keep switching my variants over like every 8 months, 9 months. So yeah, I think I just defaulted back to the normal OG way of doing lateral raises. I don't use dumbbells. I don't remember the last time I used dumbbells for lateral raises. I don't hate them. It's just I'm more accustomed to more accustomed to cables. So yeah, it's a good movement. And again, this gym is amazing because there aren't a lot of people here. There's only like 3 or 4 people, so my anxiety doesn't really get in the way of recording. And it's really easy to find angles to record since there aren't like a lot of people around me. I don't want to interrupt patrons in the gym. I don't want to be that guy, so it's a great gym. Face pulls. Yeah, face pulls are great, I'd say, because it really helps with my Dragon Boat and it helps with bench. I do have a poverty bench, as you guys saw, but face pulls are great because one, they improve shoulder health, help with rear delt stimulus, and they really help you, like they teach you how to like control your upper back muscles and your scaps, which I think is very important if you want to just play sports in general. But I lacked that ability, which is probably why I got like a shoulder impingement from bench. But throughout the years, I've implemented face pulls for a while, trying to control them, trying to like what I think of is like trying to pull them towards my eye, like my nose, and they've worked really well. And trying to pull like over my ears instead of towards my ears, because I think when I pull lower, like towards my traps, I use a lot of my rhomboids and more medial back midline. So pulling upwards a little more above the ear really forces your rear delts to do the work. Kind of like doing a double back by. But that cue really worked well for me, especially in the beginning stages, since I didn't really understand mind-muscle connection. So subtle cues like that really make a big change for movements that train small muscle groups, and if it's meant for isolation. Yeah. Next, I tried experimenting with hyperextensions. I used to do this movement like when I had to like train for like wrestling and other sports that involved all the hip hinge. It's not my favorite movement, and I think I ended up dropping this movement and I replaced it with another. But if you guys can try it with the plates. The thing is, my grip is my limiting factor for using a bunch of plates. You can go pretty heavy on them, and I tend to use my hamstrings a lot for hyperextensions, which is why I switched over to, as you can see, like the Jefferson curls, and I intentionally round my back to like get stimulus for my erectors, since I need a lot of erector work for Dragon Boat. And it's good for postural stability too. But the plate also helps, since one, I did say like I want to load my erectors, but two, like it also really helps with hamstring loading too. So your entire posterior chain, you don't need to go too heavy on these. You shouldn't. And RPE 7 should be sufficient, because building strength in this range of motion is I think it's a good preventative exercise for like general sports and back health. So yeah, Jefferson curls, they're kind of niche, not really, but yeah, they're, I would say, my go-to for erector work. And if deadlifts are absent in my program, then I'd probably throw these in there. So yeah, if you guys like this style of content, please let me know. Like, I'm just going off of what I think sounds or looks good. So please let me know in the comments, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Thank you.